Look how cool this is. This is a young male leopard by the name of Hosana. And he is one of the cubs of the queen of Djuma, which is the private game reserve that we're on at the moment. And her name is Karula. Now we're looking for her other cub, Shongile, which is the little girl. So I'm sure she's somewhere around here. Maybe she's just resting under one of these trees. But like growing boys, Mr. Hosana is probably very, very, very hungry. So being so young and not really skilled in hunting, he's probably looking at trying to catch maybe a terrapin, but you might know them as turtles that are swimming in this puddle of water, or maybe even a catfish. I think he'll be happy enough to get his hands on anything. I just need to listen to the radio for a moment. No, now he's having looks like he's having a drink. Oh no, he's just smelling. But watch, let's see if he's going to jump back over this puddle of water, because he's now on an island. So we'll see if we can get a view. And I don't know if you can see that, looks like cotton candy growing on the tree just behind this little leopard. Now that is the nest of a foam nest frog. Maybe we'll see one as well. How cool is that? They, instead of laying their eggs in the water, they make them up on these trees in this sort of froth-like substance. And once they hatch and develop, they'll fall into the water. Ah, that must be nice and cool on the ground with all that mud there. I wish I was like him. And he doesn't seem to mind that he's got his tail in the water either. Look how cool that is. Look how beautiful he is. He's giving us a fantastic show. Now, all the wonderful kids at Kingston Elementary want to know how fast a leopard can run. I need to do the conversion in miles and feet because I'm absolutely terrible at it. But I'll give you an example. The charging speed of a leopard, so when it is standing still to chasing you, its charging speed is 24 meters per second. Now, I don't know what that is in feet. I'm really, really terrible, but it is so quick that I can tell you that you wouldn't even be able to blink and that leopard would be standing in front of you. But they can run quite quickly. They probably get up to a speed of about 60 kilometers an hour, maybe a little bit quicker than that, but they can't keep it up for very long. It's very, very short distance. So not as fast as a cheetah. Cheetahs are the fastest land mammal, but a leopard is not slow. They can definitely run quicker than what we can. But now he's learning. He's not sure what he wants to do, if he's going to try and fish. None of the animals are cooperating. Now, Evelyn, you're wondering, now not how fast he can run, but how high he can jump. Now, at the moment, he can't really jump very well. He's getting there. He's learning, of course, but he's only 10 months old. So he's still got a lot to learn. However, when he's about fully grown, so when he gets to about 4 years old, maybe 4.5, 5 years old, he'll be able to jump from the ground about 2.5, 3 meters up onto a tree before he even touches it. And then he'll grip his claws in the tree and climb the rest of the way up. So they're very, very powerful. They've got lots of power in their shoulders as well as in their hindquarters and their legs. But he's still got to develop all those muscles that will allow him to one day be able to jump as high as an adult leopard can. And maybe Mom is off looking for something to eat, and hopefully she'll catch something big enough that she'll be able to share it with her 2 cubs. She'll probably come back and fetch them if she does catch something. But isn't this amazing? You got to see a spotted cat, and the most beautiful spotted cat, in my opinion, that we have out here in Africa, out of the big cats. And one of my favorites too, especially young Hosana and his sister Shongile. They are very special little cubs. And it is so nice to be able to sit here every single day and watch them grow. He looks a little bit confused, don't you think? Oh, I think I need to jump onto the radio very quickly. Everyone's gone quiet again. Hello, big boy. Come on, catch something for us, or at least make a failed attempt. So he actually did a big jump to get over onto this little island, and his only way back is to do the same thing. So hopefully he turns around and faces the left, and then does a big leap across, and then you'll be able to see how well they can jump. You'll be surprised. Now he's just sitting patiently, waiting for something to come closer to that little island, something, like I said, like a terrapin, or like I said, you'd call it maybe a turtle, or even a fish, and he'll try and catch it. And what I'm hoping is that because he's not so experienced, he's going to fall in the water, so we can have a little laugh at him. But it'll be an important learning curve for him if he does do something like that. And he has to just start getting used to water, especially as a young male leopard, because soon Mom's not going to want to have anything to do with him, and she's going to chase him away. And he's not going to be very popular with the other leopards either, especially while he's so young. So he'll have to live by himself and catch things like fish and terrapins. So it'll be easy for him if he just gets used to the water now, so he can go splish-splashing, and I'm sure it'll make his job a little bit easier. But I cannot believe what I've just heard. It sounds as though Evie's got another little leopard cub to show you. He seems to be sulking at the moment because he wasn't successful at catching any terrapins or catfish or anything else that might be lurking in this little pool of water. And he moved across, he moved off his island, and he walked all the way around to the other side, and he found himself a nice cool spot in long grass, and I'm sure on some mud, which is helping cool himself down. Now I'm really intrigued as to where his sister may be. I'm sure she's here somewhere. She's probably just having a snooze or something. But isn't this just magnificent? He is such a character, and it's so nice to see that he's so independent at such a young age, that he's already showing the initiative to try and fish and obviously look for his own food. That's really, really good. And I reckon if he keeps at it, before he knows it, in a couple of months' time, he will be a very, very good hunter at catching the smaller things. He'll be an expert. And then, well, he'll just have to work at trying to maybe catch something a little bit bigger. There's a couple of birds that keep diving down. There was a drongo that was trying to drink water, and there's also a woodland kingfisher that keeps bombing into the water, and he's showing a lot of interest in them. So I'm wondering if any birds, maybe like a turtle dove or something, that maybe isn't as vigilant as a kingfisher or a drongo would be, I wonder if they come down to have a drink. And now that he's sat in the shade and hiding behind a little bit of grass, if he'll perhaps try and stalk and catch one of those birds as they come down for a drink. Wouldn't that be amazing to see him catch something like that? Excuse me. That got his attention. Every time I sneeze, all the cats always do a death stare at me. I apologize if it ruined any of your attempts, though he doesn't look like he's really interested in doing too much just at the moment. Now remember, we are live, and I'd love to hear from you. So if you have any questions for us, you're welcome to send them through. You can either hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or you can send through an email to questions@WildEarth.TV. Now, I managed to spot the woodland kingfisher again. It's just up to the top left of that tomboati tree. Can you see it there? Now it's sitting very, very quietly, and I suspect that we're going to see it dive bomb into the water any moment now. Come on, show yourself. And you'll see how excited he gets, how excited Hosana gets when he sees that big splash in the water. And small things definitely catch the attention of this leopard. Look at him panting away there. Now, Donna, you were wondering, how did he get his name? That's a good question. For some bizarre reason, it has completely slipped my mind, but I'm sure Kirsty will relay it to me in my ear. I can't even remember. I know Shungile, doesn't it mean beautiful? Ah, there we go. So Donna, the little bird whispered in my ear, and apparently it was Taxon that gave him the name, and it means little chief. Here we go. Here come these turtle doves I was telling you about. And they're walking right over towards him. I don't think they know that he's there. You see them coming down for a drink? Now, Hosana's only a couple of feet away from them. However, he's behind them. Well, in front. Oh, there we go. No, they spotted him. One spotted him and flew away. Let's see if the other one's going to be brave enough to come and have a drink. He's just hiding behind the tree. There it is. A little bit wary. Not taking any chances today with the young prince. And I think that that is a clever call. They'd be safer if they came towards where we were sitting, because there'd be no way that he'd be able to get here quick enough to catch one of those turtle doves. But he's still looking, and at least he's paying attention. Oh, you are going to be a handsome leopard when you get older. But he's very, very hot. Reese, you were wondering this afternoon if leopards ever eat grass like domestic cats do when they're feeling a little bit on the unwell side. Reese, you're spot on. Leopards and lions do that, and I'm sure that caracal and serval and African wildcat and the rest of the cat species do exactly the same thing. You see it every now and then. But he's not eating any grass at the moment. I think he's looking for something with some feathers on it. And unfortunately, Hosana, you're going to have to be very strategic as where you position yourself, because where he is now, unless something comes to drink on his right, well, our right-hand side, he might have an opportunity to catch it. But he's not as quick and nimble as an adult leopard would be. He's still got to learn, of course, how to propel. And there we go. There goes the kingfisher that just darted across your screen. You can see the ripples in the water as it dived in. He's beautiful as well. And I really love this. I really love just sitting in one place, especially when there's water around on such a hot day. And you just watch so many different things come to the water. There are dragonflies flying around. There's flies that keep trying to go into my eyes and in my nose. And, of course, a couple of butterflies, too, that are coming into mud puddle and get any water and moisture and sodium off of the ground or any nutrients that they need. It's really a beautiful scene out here this afternoon. This seems to be his own personal pool. A paradise flycatcher has just landed just near that foam nest frog, and there's the kingfisher. This is a bird that I've been trying to see for such a long time now. Look at the beautiful skin around the eye. I love their call. That is such a cool bird, paradise flycatcher. This might be a new one for some of you who have just started watching. Now, normally you don't get to see them so close and out in the open because they are quite shy birds. Usually you spot them and you just see their long tails. And this is a male. This is so cool. This is the most incredible shot. I'm envious. I hope you're all taking lots and lots of screenshots. Please do. Because I don't know when last you had a beautiful clear view of a paradise flycatcher like this. Look at him. He's beautiful. This is amazing. Remember, send in all these amazing screenshots to #SafariLive on Twitter or questions@WildEarth.tv. And if this is a new bird for your bird list, please let us know. It would be lovely to hear as to the new additions to your list. Hello. He's so cool, and off he goes. Now, for young Hosana, that would be a fun bird to try and catch. And it'd probably be an easier one than something like a kingfisher because it's got a lovely long tail. Now, we used to see the caracals utilizing birds with long tails. Now, speaking of birds and leopards catching them, Susie, you were wondering if a leopard does catch a bird, would they play with it or would they just eat it? I think because Hosana is so young, and the same would probably go for Shongile, I think they'd have a little bit of interest with it and they'd probably play around with it a little bit. And they haven't quite worked or learned yet that it's best to kill something as quick as possible, because if you keep something alive for long enough, it could also cause damage to you. Obviously, something like a bird might not cause as much damage, say, as an impala or an nyala or a bushbuck or an antelope species, because they're much smaller, of course. But they'll probably be curious and pat it and probably chase it around a bit, very much like a domestic cat would. And, well, young Hosana, if he were to do something like that, you know what birds are like. They might even get an opportunity to fly away again and he'll lose his meal. But like I was saying, in the Eastern Cape, we used to watch caracals sit in the long grass in the open plains. And there's this bird called pin-tailed widers, which I think we did see with James on Cheetah Plains a few afternoons ago. And you'd see them flying around in long grass, they'd land, and then all of a sudden it would go deathly silent, and all the birds would shoot up from the grass and fly into the sky. And the next minute you'd see this caracal leaping out of the long grass. And I actually one day watched as a caracal grabbed a pin-tailed wider by its tail and pulled it back down to the ground. So that's the problem when you do have a long tail like that. There's other things that may be able to, well, utilize it. And not just for breeding feathers. Look at that kingfisher. It's now starting to open its wings. It's just sitting on the lower branch of that tamboti tree. Hello. Looks like it's doing a dance, don't you think? It's beautiful. Congratulations, Duran. You've said that was now I've forgotten. 215. There we go. Sorry. I almost forgot the number. 215 for you for the Paradise Flycatcher. Congratulations and well done. That's very, very exciting. And that's quite a good number on the bird list as well. You've definitely been watching for a while. And if you don't have a bird list, now's a good time to start, because there are so many migrants here at the moment, like this woodland kingfisher that we're looking at. You are beautiful and you love the camera, don't you? I feel like this needs a song. And for some reason, all I can sing in my head is Jan Pirvit, Jan Pirvit. I don't know why I have that song, because I'm not Afrikaans, not even a little bit. And can you even see the little feather from this woodland kingfisher just to the right of the bird? Just on the stick, just next to it. It's blowing in the wind. You can just see that beautiful, beautiful turquoise color shining off of it. You're having a fantastic afternoon, aren't you, little kingfisher? And I'm sure that this kingfisher has spotted Hosana. However, as he opens his wings like that, it's definitely caught Hosana's attention, because he went from laying down to sitting back up and staring back across at that bird. There we go. You see, that kingfisher flew to another branch, and you watched Hosana, how carefully he watched that bird as it dashed off. Now there's another bird that's arrived. Can you see it just on the dead tree, the go-away bird? On the right-hand side, on the other side of the leopard. There we go. Now, Christine, you're wondering why kingfishers are called kingfishers. It's not even, it's a turtle dove again. Oh, goodness, I thought that was a go-away bird for a moment with the length of its tail feathers. My bad. It's obviously not a go-away bird. Come on, land down so Hosana can catch you. Now, sorry, Christine, I'll eventually get to answering your question. They're called kingfishers because, well, they're very good at fishing, most of them. They've got the big spear-like beaks. I don't know why the king part fits in. I'll have a book at home and I'll have to have a look. I'm terribly sorry. I seem to be so rusty on my birds for some bizarre reason. But it's got a book of where each bird species got its name. And we'll have a look, and maybe we'll chat about it tomorrow morning. Maybe Brent knows. Brent's very good with birds. Why don't we ask him? Brent, I wonder if you know where and why they are called kingfishers. Obviously because they fish very well, but is there any point to the king part of it? Now, I think this bird is waving goodbye and is probably saying that Brent knows the answer. So let's jump back in the tent with him and see if he does.